Thanks for joining me for Bible journaling. Today we're going to be working on day 303 in our Encourage a Moment to Breathe devotional. So I'm going to start out by giving my page a couple of coats of clear gesso. I like to do this so that when I paint over the page it doesn't wrinkle and it won't bleed through. It's just a personal preference. You do not have to put this on there, but I like it so that the page will lay flat. And I always do 2 coats, so in case I missed a spot, it will not affect it at all. It'll just continue. I can fill in the spots I might have accidentally missed. And then I'm going to give it a quick dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and underline my verse. And my verse today is Job's 31:32, and it says, "I open my door to the traveler." So I love that. So I'm just going to take my my Micron pen and I'm going to give it a quick outline around the outside so I make sure when I'm decorating my page I do not accidentally go over the top, because I totally would do that. I'm constantly forgetting where I'm at when I'm doing my project, and I forget that I'm supposed to be leaving that part out. So for me it's easier just to go ahead and do the journaling or the outlining part right away. So I'm going to go ahead and add some ink to my page just to give it a little bit of some shading on the out before I add my painting at the bottom. For that I'm going to use Brilliance Galaxy Gold, some Versamagic Sage, Wheat, and Pumpkin Spice inks. And then I'm using my paper or my towel there to just kind of scrub it around on the page. And that works great because I applied the gesso, so it just kind of wipes it around a little bit. And then I will go through after I get it all on there and blast it with my heat tool just to make sure it's dry. And then today, since our title says Saying Yes to Hospitality, I thought I would do a coffee cup or a cup of hot chocolate or whatever you want to call it down at the bottom. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some acrylic paints. So I'm going to use black, brown, raw sienna, carrot, Persian blue, something blue, and then light blue. So you can probably find any of those colors down there. And I just freehand drew my coffee cup down there at the bottom of my page. So you could completely do that. I just went online and found a cup of coffee that I liked, and then I just used a pencil to draw it down there at the bottom. So let's go ahead and we'll read our story. Last week we had family in town for a visit. When my due date was just 2 weeks away, I was a little overwhelmed by the thought of a family of 5 staying with us. But our time together was wonderful. Our kids played well and we made amazing memories. After they left, I thought about how glad I was that we flung our door open wide, blew up air mattresses, and made everything work. The following day, I planned to take it easy. Maybe do a few loads of laundry and work on some writing. But then I got a text from a friend who was unexpectedly in town with her family, asking if we wanted to get together for lunch. Yes, was the only option. Though I was still pretty worn out physically from the previous week's company, I knew that seeing her would be such a gift. Instead of going out to lunch, which I knew would be tough and not relaxing or as fun as our 6 kids, I invited them over to our house. I warned them that the state of my house was chaos, but that as long as that was okay, we would love to have them over. Of course, they didn't care about our house. They didn't want to come over to see a dust-free mantle or a spotless living room. We spent more than 2 hours together, and our time was rich with conversation. We kept lunch simple, just cold cuts, fruit, and chips. The kids played and everyone enjoyed one another's company. When they left, I was again reminded that hospitality is not about the condition of our homes, but the condition of our hearts. Hospitality is about saying yes. It's about honesty, not about perfection. Life can be so busy, it's easy to miss out on opportunities to demonstrate hospitality. But let's not miss those chances. Let's be the friend who invites others in. Our moment to breathe today says, let the dishes sit a while longer. Let the dust in the corner be. Open your door, the one in your home and the one in your heart, to a friend when she calls. So I love that story. That's totally true. How many of us go when someone calls and where the first thought is, oh my gosh, should I vacuum today? Or how many dishes are in my sink? I cannot possibly invite someone over or have someone come visit because my house looks like a disaster area. I totally do that. So I guess we need to just be more hospitable and enjoy our time with our friends and have them come over whenever we can, because you just never know when you're not going to have that chance anymore. So that's my thought on that. So I'm going to remember that the next time that somebody calls and stop worrying about how many dishes I have in the sink or how much dusting I need to do. So here I'm just using my paint and a couple of little craft brushes I just have sitting around on my desk to paint my coffee cup in. And I don't think it's perfect, but I think it turned out pretty good for the acrylic paint. I'm not used to using that, so that was something new. And I really like how the background looks with the the ink pads I used up there to color it in. So it makes the verse really pop out. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish painting here. And then I decided that I would maybe need to do some coffee. I'm not really a coffee drinker, so we're going to call it hot chocolate or something like that in my cup. But I'm going to do a couple of my browns in here, and I'm just kind of swirling them on in a circle. So it looks like I just got done stirring it with my spoon. So I'm just going in. First, I decided I better probably do the lightest one first to go over the entire thing, and then it would be much easier to go over it and swirl the darker colors over that. And then I also find that if you dry it in between, you won't smear the colors around quite as much. So next I'm going to add a little bit of the raw sienna in there just to make some of my swirls. And I tried to keep them pretty messy. I wasn't trying to be neat and tidy about it. I'm just going to swirl it on there and make it look like I stirred it. And then, of course, give it a quick dry so that you won't have to worry about smearing your ink. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the brown on top of that. So we'll add a little bit of swirls of a brown. It's definitely looking more like coffee now than it's looking like hot chocolate because of the cream. It makes it look like the light color makes it look like cream in your coffee cup. So that will be perfect. And then I forgot to mention that I used white. It's not in my pile here on my desk, but I am going to use some white paint to make the steam that rises up out of the cup. So of course you're going to want to drink your hot chocolate or your coffee while it's hot. So we're going to definitely give it a little bit of steam up there. And then I decided that I was going to go ahead and freehand my title today. I know I'm living dangerously. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with the title that says yes, say yes to hospitality, just because it was the title of our story today and I thought that that would be appropriate. And I also loved how big my space was up here in the top. So I didn't really put much thought into how big it was going to be. I just got started at the top and then I worked my way down until I got to hospitality, and then I spelled that one backwards just so I would make sure that I had enough room on my page and it didn't run out. I was afraid that if I started with the H and I got to the Y, it would be off the page. So I just made sure to do it backwards. And I just did that with the black acrylic paint. Do I think the letters look perfect? No, but I think it looks just fine for me. And then of course I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up my my day with my journaling. So my journaling today says, Lord, let me say yes more. Let all the little stuff go. It doesn't matter, only you matter. And then of course I'm going to put my date on the bottom, and I'm going to put 10/31/18 on there. And then I've started putting at the bottom of the page also AMTB for a moment to breathe, and then I put the day on there so that I will remember later on what day I was working on when I look back through. I decided that after I've done a whole bunch of pages that I'm not going to remember what day or what I was working on, so I'm going to try to go back and fill in all the days for this little book so that I'll remember what devotional I was working in when I look back through it. Or if somebody else wants to look back through it, they can go through and look and see what day it was. So here I've decided that, how's that hospitality going to fit? So there's me deciding I'm just going to go ahead and do it backwards, and then I won't have to worry. So anyway, I hope you had fun doing Bible journaling today. If you leave me a question, or if you have a question, leave me a comment down below, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to the subscription button so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video, and you can come by and say hello. So anyway, I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.